Liam had never imagined that one night could flip his entire life upside down, yet here he was, driving through the quiet city streets past midnight with his boss, Harper Hale, slumped in the passenger seat of his old sedan. She wasn't just drunk, she was seconds away from destroying her career. And he was the only one who could stop it. Earlier that evening, he had been finishing a shift at the logistics company where he worked as an assistant coordinator. Harper, the youngest regional director the company had ever hired, had gathered the team for a corporate dinner. She was known for her strict professionalism, razor-sharp comments, and sharp heels that clicked like the countdown of a clock. No one expected to see her with a wine glass in hand, let alone 5. When she stumbled outside the restaurant, insisting she could drive her luxury SUV home, the staff quietly looked away. No one wanted to interfere with someone so intimidating. But Liam couldn't walk away. His son, Oliver, depended on him to do the right thing in life, even when it was inconvenient. He gently removed her keys and guided her to his car, ignoring her slurred protests and half-hearted threats. She had fallen asleep before he even buckled her seatbelt. Now, as he parked in front of her upscale apartment building, he contemplated how he was supposed to get her upstairs without causing a scene. He tried waking her gently, then more firmly. Her eyelids fluttered open, and for a second, she looked at him like she wasn't sure if he was real. "What are you doing here?" she mumbled. "You're home," he said quietly. "Let's get you inside." Her usual cold authority was gone, replaced with vulnerability that made her seem human in a way no employee had ever seen. She leaned on him as he helped her walk to the elevator. She murmured things he didn't quite understand, apologies, regrets, maybe something else, but he pretended not to hear. Inside her apartment, he settled her carefully on the couch, covered her with a blanket, and wrote a note explaining everything. Nothing more, nothing less. He didn't want problems, rumors, or misunderstandings. He just wanted her safe. She looked peaceful, almost soft, as he turned off the lights and left. The next morning, he braced himself for the worst. Firing, humiliation, accusations. Harper had a reputation. She didn't tolerate mistakes, and she certainly didn't forgive those who saw her flaws. But when he entered the office, everything felt strangely normal. Too normal. He tried blending into the background, focusing on his tasks, avoiding attention. Hours passed. No call from the HR office. No icy summoning to her glass-walled office. By noon, he began convincing himself that maybe, just maybe, she didn't remember. But at 4:15 p.m., her voice sliced through the office air. "Liam Morales, my office." Every head snapped toward him. His stomach dropped. He walked to her door, palms sweaty, and stepped inside. She was sitting at her desk, looking composed, crisp, and immaculate. Not a trace of the previous night. Her silence stretched to the point he wondered if she was punishing him with suspense alone. Finally, she spoke. "Close the door." He obeyed. Her eyes held his for a long moment, clear, steady, and unmistakably aware. "I remember everything," she said. His heart thudded. He opened his mouth to explain, to apologize, to defend himself, but she raised a hand. "You didn't take advantage. You didn't gossip. You didn't even leave your phone number or brag about saving me like some people would." She leaned forward. "You just helped me. I wasn't going to leave you alone like that," he said quietly. "And I didn't want you to regret anything." A strange expression crossed her face, something like disbelief mixed with gratitude. "You protected my reputation more than I have. And you barely know me." He shrugged slightly. "You're my boss. I'm also a person who owes you something," she said. He quickly shook his head. "You don't owe me anything. Really." But she stood, walked around the desk, and suddenly seemed less like the unreachable executive everyone feared and more like a woman who hadn't had someone truly look out for her in a long time. "Liam, why did you really help me?" He hesitated, but honesty slipped out. "Because someone helped me once when I didn't deserve it either. And because Oliver deserves a father he can be proud of." Her eyes softened. "Your son. You always leave early to pick him up." He nodded. "He's all I have." She was quiet for a moment. Then, almost timidly, she asked, "Can I ask what happened to his mother?" He hesitated. He rarely talked about it, but something about her tone disarmed him. "She died when he was 2. I've been doing everything alone since. Her expression shifted into something he had never expected from her, genuine empathy. That must be incredibly hard, she murmured. It is, but he keeps me going. She studied him, and for the first time since he had known her, he felt truly seen. You risked your job to do the right thing, she said. Most people wouldn't. You're human. You were in trouble, and you brought me home, she said quietly. Safe. Without judgment. He didn't respond. He didn't need to. She took a step closer. I want to know more about you. Not because you saved me. Because yesterday showed me who you are. His breath caught. He wasn't sure what she meant, but her eyes weren't cold or distant anymore. They were warm, curious, alive. I'm really just someone trying to make ends meet, he said. She shook her head. You're more than that, and you know it. He felt exposed under her gaze. She had never looked at anyone this way, not even at high-level executives. She paused, then added, walk with me. He raised an eyebrow, but she was already heading toward the door, her usual authoritative stride returning. Except this time, it wasn't intimidating, it was confident in a way that included him. They walked outside the building, down the quiet path toward the small garden area employees rarely used. The evening sun fell softly behind the buildings, casting warm light over everything. She took a deep breath. I've never let anyone help me before, she said. Not like that. I've always been the one in control. He nodded. You don't have to be strong all the time. Her voice broke slightly. I don't know how to be anything else. He looked at her, a woman who demanded perfection from herself because no one had ever allowed her to be imperfect. You're allowed to need people, he said gently. It doesn't make you weak. Her eyes filled with emotion. She quickly blinked away. And you're allowed to be taken care of too, Liam, she said. You've spent so long giving everything to everyone else. He didn't reply. He didn't need to. She hesitated again before speaking. Would you let me take you and Oliver to dinner sometime? Not as your boss, just as someone who wants to know you. He exhaled softly. Are you sure about mixing personal and work? She shook her head. You saw me at my worst. You brought me home safely. You didn't exploit it. You didn't run from it. I think I can handle dinner. He gave a small, reluctant smile. Oliver loves burgers. Her lips curled. Then burgers it is. There was a soft quiet between them, comfortable, expectant. And Liam, she added. Yes, I didn't pretend to forget because I didn't want to forget. He held her gaze, something unspoken building between them. Neither did I, he murmured. For the first time since he'd known her, she smiled. Not the polite tight-lipped expression she used in meetings, but something real. Something warm. And in that moment, everything shifted. Not because she was his boss. Not because he had saved her. But because, for the first time in a long time, two people who had been alone in different ways finally saw each other clearly. As they walked back toward the building, their steps naturally fell in sync. Harper glanced sideways at him as if memorizing the moment. Liam felt something unfold inside him, something he hadn't allowed himself to feel in years. Hope. When they reached the lobby, she paused again. Tomorrow, can we talk more? She asked softly. About what? About whatever you want, she said. About Oliver. About you. About why you thought I was worth saving. He gave her a knowing look. You were worth saving because you're human. Because you needed someone. And maybe, she said, voice faintly trembling, because you're someone I want in my life. He didn't answer with words. He didn't have to. She opened the door to the elevator. Before stepping in, she looked at him one last time. Thank you for not letting me ruin everything last night. Thank you for remembering, he replied. As the elevator doors closed, she smiled, a private smile meant only for him. And for the first time in a long while, Liam walked away feeling like something new was beginning. Something unexpected, something powerful, something that neither of them would pretend to forget.